Welcome to Seeds of Soul. Today we are thrilled to welcome Vedarth, a fitness enthusiast and an entrepreneur with a decade worth of experience. As the owner of Scope Train, strength and conditioning centers across India, he regularly debunks myths on social media and promotes healthy living. Join us as we step into this invigorating conversation with Vedarth and debunk some myths around fitness and muscle building. Thank you so much, Vedarth. Thank you for taking time out to join us on Seeds of Soul.
Thank you for having me.
You were earlier mentioning that you have 14 years of experience into fitness industry, right? So what was that moment that made you say that, I want to step into fitness and maybe change the world?
Actually, I never decided that, and it never came by intent, but it came by luck, I would say, because I was doing my engineering, and I happened to be one of the few guys who excel and promote a sport called CrossFit.
Okay.
And from there, I happened to become India #1.
Which was 15 years back.
That was when I was 18. That would be close to about 12 years back.
Okay.
Right, and from there, God willing, I had certain investors who were ready to kickstart a pilot project, and from there I've not looked back. Yeah.
So that was the birth of Scope Train?
That was the birth of Scope Train. Yes, you can say so. Yeah, started from there.
Okay. So, what are some popular myths that you come across when you're talking about muscle building? There's recently, there has been a news article which said that protein is not that great for regular folks, and only people who are focusing on muscle building should be taking protein and not regular folks. And there are so much such myths that are going around. Name your popular one and how you tackle with it.
I think firstly, when people are starting to exercise, right?
Yeah.
They forget that exercising must be a habit, and to develop habit it takes consistency, and to have consistency you have to be repeatable. So people think that they probably might join a crash course for 3 months and they'll probably reach their goals, which is possible, but it's not. It's going to be more so of a yo-yo effect, and they bounce back up. So the way I like to promote things is to inculcate habits related to fitness and lifestyle on a long-term basis, which are sustainable and repeatable, because that's where you can see maximum adaptations in the body, and and that promotes longevity and sustainability in a person. So and that's more so my style of promoting fitness and wellness in general, balance.
Correct.
And that's the flavor I usually like to follow.
So, everybody is on Instagram, is on social media networking these days, and one gets to see these so-called fitness influencers actually putting out very complicated pencil-like poses out there and calling that as fitness and, as the epitome of fitness. And you're talking about it being a repeatable act, something that you can do on a regular basis, right? So, which is boring. So how does one get into the habit of being disciplined and getting into the habit of exercising on a regular basis, especially when lives today are so stressful?
So I think, people usually complicate the simple things, not just for fitness, in life in general.
Correct.
If you take a simple subject and you unnecessarily try and complicate it,
Yeah.
you're tangling yourself in a spaghetti junction, and it's just going to be difficult. So
Correct.
So it's with fitness, less is more, but doing things correctly and efficiently and thinking long term, that works. It's something that everybody and anybody can do. Correct. And I stick to that. I don't like complicating and wanting people to do cartwheels over a bozu ball. That works. That works for very few people. That's 0.01%.
Correct.
But for 99%
I
of
think
the
it
people,
works only for the Instagram influencers.
it looks cool. It looks cool, but it's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Right.
Okay, so sustainability is the core of your fitness journey. It has to be sustainable. It has to be repeatable, as you said. So, what about the nutrition part of which we were earlier talking about? How important do you think is nutrition in one's fitness journey?
It's
Because they say that body is built 70% in the kitchen and 30% in the gym. What is your take on that?
So I like to say, like, looking fit and actually being fit are two different things. You might actually
That's
have
interesting. So, are you saying that somebody who has a six-pack ab, muscular with maybe below that of 12-13% body fat, is actually might not be fit? Are you saying that?
can be metabolically unfit, but
Okay.
can be looking fit. What I mean to say is you cannot gauge performance by how a person looks, right? You cannot predict the health inside just by how a person looks.
Correct.
So it is very important that nutrition is what you put inside is what you become.
Correct.
So performance and nutrition go hand in hand. It's like a car without the right fuel, it's not going to run.
Absolutely.
Right? So I do believe nutrition plays a very big role. So I'll give you a small example. Like when I started off, I was a madman, working out 6-7 hours a day, and for excelling at the sport that I picked.
CrossFit.
Right, and these are the fittest guys in the world. Like the SEALs, the Marines. They are. You need to be slightly mentally sick to be pushing that hard. It's right in darkness and discomfort, and that's the needle that I was pushing. What I realize is 20 to 25 bodies like young, you can push. As you start tipping towards 30, right? Your body, there's a switch. Every 5 years, there's a switch your body goes into.
Right.
And those 5 years, every switch that your body makes, you need to start taking different measures. You automatically will start realizing that going all gas without nutrition, without recovery, without the right protocols, without the right food without the right macronutrients, micronutrients, you will not be able to sustain.
Correct.
Right? That's why the world now is moving towards understanding recovery, towards understanding prevention rather than cure.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe. It all happens in phases. When you're young, you can eat what the hell you want to. Your body is your body will move
It's
out
quick
of
to
it.
metabolize it.
Right, and every 5 years there's a new gear. So if you're not smart enough, you're going to be back in the wagon wheel again.
Correct. So while you said that nutrition is something which plays a very important role in our daily lives, we as an Indian populace are very far from understanding that at age. In the Western societies, they have started moving towards a preventive care rather than a hospital care, because they are not starting to understand it. How far do you think, as a society, as an Indian society, we are away from it? Because not only now, according to a recent news article, not only are we the diabetes capital of the world, we are also now the cancer capital of the world. So where do you think, and how far have we arrived there, or how far out on that journey are we?
I think, look, it all comes down to awareness, and it all comes down to belief systems, right? The society has. It is because Indians, as our culture, roti, chawal, all these things are part of our culture, and people don't realize insulin. People don't realize how diabetes is actually going to change their life if they get towards having insulin issues.
Insulin resistance, yes.
Right. So I don't blame them. They don't know any better. So they're following what they've been following for years.
Correct.
But hey, look, there are some people who can follow that lifestyle and still live 90 years.
Correct.
But my thing is this, right? You might live 90 years doing the wrong things, but what if you did the right things?
And you live 90 years.
And you live 90 years, Yeah. So it's, you might have different energy levels, you might have a different zest for life, just by fixing few small things on a daily basis.
Correct.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
think-
what are those small things that you think one must fix in their daily lives, especially if you're in the age gap of 30 to 35 years, you are an MNC employee, you're living in a fast-paced city like Mumbai. What small changes do you think one can make?
I think first things first is people don't realize the value of getting their blood work done on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And understanding what is going on inside. If you ask any random person, 1 out of 5 people would probably pull their blood out every 6 months.
Correct.
And trying to see where their blood markers are at. Checking their you can check their renal levels, you can check their liver function, you can check their platelet count, you can check their vitamin D levels. Getting to know what's happening in this intricate system. And the body is the most intricate thing.
It's the most intricate machine.
Right? And if you don't actually look into what our deficiencies are, you're actually running on reserve fuel throughout.
Correct.
And just by fixing those small deficiencies, you automatically start fixing a lot of parameters,
Yeah.
So I think that's the first thing. If you start looking what's happening inside, that's the first step towards understanding what you need to fix.
What preventive measures can be taken?
Right.
Correct. So when it comes to strength training for women, what is your take on it?
I think everybody should do it.
It's not a gender specific.
Not at all.
Specific.
So here's the thing, right?
Because a lot of my peer groups are, they're like, oh, I'm going to just focus on cardio because I want to lose weight. Strength training is not my cup of tea. What is the message that you would like to give up?
After 40, 45, people start degenerating, right? Osteoporosis, all the degenerative issues start kicking in. And the only thing that pushes you through is if you have certain amount of muscle mass to pull through all of that.
Correct.
So I think it is paramount. Everybody and anybody should do it. Even people doing yoga, people doing marathons. What if I told you will get better at marathons if you did strength training?
Maybe I would spend some more time on it, yes.
Yes, so here's the thing, right? Even sprinters,
Correct.
The guys who run the fastest on the planet, they do run. But apart from running, they're still training in the gym.
True.
Because to express true speed, you need to have certain amount of strength in you.
Correct. Beyond the obvious physical benefits of working out, what are the reasons that you think that general population or everybody, should embrace workouts for?
Great question. I think, most people exercise only to look good. But I think exercising itself and pushing the realms in physical fitness will allow you to explore your life so much more. The day you start pushing hard inside the gym or any format of exercise, it gives you the fortitude to push through in life. In tough situations, it brings in resilience,
Correct.
So there's a very nice quote, growth lies in doing the things that you don't want to do.
Correct.
Right? And
Correct.
so if it's exercise that you don't want to do, it'll actually start making you feel better if you start doing it, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
I take it, I would like to put it.
So lastly, is there any advice that you would like to give to someone who is just starting out on their fitness journey?
My advice would be stay consistent. Think of it as a marathon, not a sprint. Be repeatable and enjoy yourself. It's fun. Get yourself groomed and trained under the right hands. Learn the right things so that you can be sustainable. And you'll be fine. Enjoy it.
And focus on having fun, maybe?
Fun is essential. You cannot do something if you're not having fun. You will otherwise burn out.
Correct.
You need to start having fun.
Yes. Embrace the mundane.
For sure.
Great. This was a really interesting conversation, Vedarth.
Thank
so
you.
on that note, I profusely thank you for taking time out today
You're most welcome.
and coming to join us on Seeds of Soul. Please accept a token of appreciation from our end.
Thank you. Thank you. Cheers.